Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing anime, gatekeeping, and what is being described now as tourist. Now, anime has been mainstream probably for the last, 15 years maybe? But if you're like me, you've been following anime since the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, Dragon Ball itself was very popular over in Japan back in the 80s with the Toriyama, Sailor Moon. Some of those were the most popular anime there at the time, and you would have to try to find those through torrent websites and other things that were illegally posted during that time to try to watch them overseas. It was very difficult. It probably wasn't until the mid 90s that we started getting this overseas through like Funimation. They released it on VHS. I remember going to like video stores and reserving with like $5. I would reserve and pre-order my Dragon Ball Z, VHS tape. Lately, however, ever since this went mainstream, there's been problems in the anime industry, and sadly, some of the problems actually got into the industry itself. Not just from a consumption standpoint, but they actually work in the industry itself. People have been fans of anime, like I said, since the 80s. People love this stuff. They love it because of what it is, what it's always been. It's a part of Japan's culture. It's a part of who they are as a people, and that's what we love to see. It's funny, it's got a lot of tropes, and it can be offensive at times, and that's okay. But ever since it went mainstream, it's become not okay. And our fear, as some of the original, I guess OG, you could call us, anime enthusiasts, our fear is that it's going to change. We don't want it to change. There's a reason why people started getting into it in the first place. You don't need to fix what's not broken. So let me show you something that's been going around online. I think it's right here. I don't know why these symbols here, I don't know why they're here, to be honest with you. So that in itself, I think, will trigger people, and that's probably why they're here. Ignore those. It's the message that I think is more important than anything. How to spot an anime tourist. Only watches Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, and other common anime shows. And the reason they mention those shows, those are the safe, action-oriented shows. It mentions Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball in and of itself, the original Dragon Ball, not Z, not Super, but Dragon Ball, it triggers a lot of people who have come into anime since it's been mainstream, because it was a lot more edgy than Dragon Ball Z is. It had jokes, it had fan service in there, things that, Akira Toriyama is a pervert like me. And he likes those types of running jokes. It's very funny, but it triggers a lot of people. And then it goes on to say, likes anime because it's trendy. Again, that's true. Will join the anime fandom for the sake of policing others in the community. This right here is one of the reasons why we need a gatekeep. You don't come into a community and try to police other people who are already in that community. The community is not there to serve you. The community is not there to be how you want it to be. You can come in, enjoy what you want. Whatever you don't like, shut the fuck up. Just don't watch it. Don't partake in it. If you don't like some of the stuff in some of the anime you do watch, tough shit. Go. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You should not be coming in here and policing others in the community or trying to change anything in the anime community. The anime is perfect. Anime is great. It's hilarious. It's funny. We don't want you or anybody else to change it. Then it goes on to say, grades you for liking something they don't like. I mean, it's true, but that happens all the time. So I don't really care too much about that, other than when it ties into this last little quote here. Okay, because you'll see when it comes to lollies and to other tropes that's always been in anime, they will go after you like crazy if you even acknowledge that you like lollies. Okay. Thinks fan service is sexist and drawings equate to real life issues. And again, like I said, this connects directly to this whole lolly thing. That's why I go back to this second to last point and how it connects to this last point. Lollies doesn't necessarily mean children. I would think more chibi might be more like, I don't know, but lolly is a body type, not an age. It's a body type. And so what people have done since animes went mainstream is, to them, a lolly is someone who's basically a kid. They connect it and equate it to a real life kid. So if you like a lolly, or if you like anything that even could potentially resembles a lolly, they automatically call you the P word. And all they're doing is diminishing that P word to the point where you're throwing it around so much that people just don't even hear it anymore. So when there is legit P that you need to worry about, people aren't going to believe you. They're not going to listen to you. It's like the boy who cried wolf. Because they, for whatever reason, in their mind, they're equating a drawing to something real life. And in my mind, I think that says more about them than it does about anime. And that's part of the problem that we have with the anime community, and which is why I think we should be gatekeeping a lot of these tourists out of it. We need to make sure the anime industry, the mangakas, the production companies, the people who put this anime out or even come up with the whole concept that the anime is based on, like I said, the mangaka. That's why we need to make sure these mangakas understand that we like what they do. We support what they do. And that they should not be listening to this 1% of 1% on Twitter. The problem is a lot of these people who think this, who are policing the communities, who will berate you for not liking something, who thinks fan service is sexist and that, body types or drawings like this equate to real kids in the real world, they have snuck into the industry. They work for these companies or as a contractor to these companies. Could be as a localizer, or it could be a voice actor or whoever, but they're in these companies now. And unfortunately, they're gaining power. And they're going to start, they've already changed things in the sense of how they localize certain adaptations and potentially how they might censor things. I mean, you've seen like Funimation, how they started with, I can't remember the name of that one anime that they licensed. They dubbed like the first episode and they essentially dropped it. It was the one with the guys where they go out and they have random sexual activities with all these different monster girls. Let me see if I have it. Hold on one second. All right, I found it. Interspecies Reviewers. This is the anime I'm talking about. And don't get me wrong, it pushes the boundaries. There's scenes in there where I'm like, they're right up on the cusp of potentially being a hentai. But they're not. But it is hilarious. The anime is hilarious. There are times where I'm like, with certain things, but that's okay. That's what this medium is for. It's to push the boundaries. It's to do things that you won't see in live action, or can you see in live action. It could be something that's more sexual based, more comedy based, more action based. There's things in anime that you're never going to see in real life, and that's why it's great. Now, there was one thread, and you'll see threads like this all the time. But there was one thread where here's another one. This is another person that we generally would call tourist, right? Words cannot describe how much I'm looking forward to this season of anime ended, so I don't got to see this on my timeline anymore. There's one reason why. Because they don't like feet. So what? There's nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this whatsoever. There are people who are grossed out by feet, don't get me wrong, but these are the people that would change anime. And I don't think we need that. So this is the thread I was talking about here. Gatekeeping to me is pointless. If your series gets popular, there's nothing you can do about it. And if it's niche, you won't be able to change that either. Gatekeeping just makes you seem petty. You should want your series to be successful so you get more of it. True, but you should see the drama this series here, Mushokai Tensei, if I'm saying that correctly. The drama and the crap this series gets.
That's our maid, Lilia. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of her talents.
There you are.
That's why we have to gatekeep. And it's not being petty. You like what you like and you want to protect it. You want to ensure that someone doesn't come in, someone who is offended on behalf of everybody else. You want to make sure those people don't come in and change things. They're offended on behalf of everybody. So they've got to come in and they've got to make all these changes. Oh, lolly? No, that's bad. Fan service? No, that's bad. Pretty soon it's going to be like Hollywood where everything's got to be checking these boxes. And that's not what we want. We want anime to continue to be anime because we fell in love with it for what it is. It's part of the Japanese culture. We love that part of their culture. And we want to continue to see it be exactly the way it's been. We want to see the perverseness, the awesomeness, the childishness, whatever other words you want to use here. We want to continue seeing that from all these different various mangakas because their stories are awesome. I could never come up with some of the concepts that they come up with. And that's something that we've lost here in the West because we've been so worried about not offending people. Our stories have become stale, horrible, very predictive, just outright bad. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the story itself potentially being predictive and kind of being able to predict where it's going to go. I mean, you can only tell sometimes so many hero stories without having an idea of what's going to happen, right? But I mean, there was one, it was called 100 Girlfriends. I watched, I thought, okay, cool. I thought it might be a fan servicey show. I didn't expect much from it. It blew me away. It was a much better show than I expected. I was laughing my head off. I was invested in the male protagonist. I was invested in some of the female protagonists. I really thought the show is top tier. It's a great show. Same thing with Mushokai Tensei. The show through the first season, you think it's going to be one thing, but I got blown away with how serious the show took itself in the next 2 seasons. Not to mention the manga itself. I mean, it's a really great story. And if we were to censor things or to stop something from being developed because we happen to not like certain aspects of it, we would lose out on so much culture enrichment. That's at least my view on it, right? So they go on to say, I hate normies so much. They ruin everything they touch. As soon as normies hear of a series, they make such a tantrum and creators inevitably change their vision to accommodate them. I don't know if creators change their vision. Potentially, that is our fear. But I do agree that normies kind of ruin things. They'll come in and they'll complain and throw a tantrum on Twitter. They do it all the time. I'll be the jester, king and queen of the kingdom of pettiness all in one if it keeps away just one moron from trying to change my hobby rather than liking it for what it is. Exactly. Like I said, I don't care. To me, it's not petty. And if you want to call it petty, I don't care. I'll wear that all day. I like what it is, and I will do everything I can, which admittedly is not much, to keep them from changing it. Counterpoint, gatekeeping, I'm assuming it means gatekeeping here, in general is a good thing because it keeps out people who fundamentally want to change the thing you like. Yes, look at what they've done to Magic the Gathering. Look at what they've done to Dungeons and Dragons. Look at what they're doing to Warhammer 40K. You have to gatekeep your hobbies. If you can't gatekeep your hobbies, you're going to lose them. Because like I said, these people, for whatever reason, if it's something they hate, they will infiltrate and change it from the inside. And that's what they're doing. It's as simple as that. This person says, lolicons have been the backbone of the anime industry for decades. I kind of agree. You're literally no different than someone saying, why is a modern anime weird? When it's always been weird. GTFO tourist. That's true. It's always been weird. That's what's been so great about anime. it's weird. It's not going to be the safe crap. Well, I wouldn't call it safe that you get in Hollywood, but it's not going to be the same stuff. They're going to do things that Hollywood would not even go near because they're so afraid of offending someone. Anime would be much more recognized in the mainstream if we just get rid of the pervy character trope. Well, we'll see how my Twitter profile is named Pervy Sage. Obviously, I don't agree with this concept. Now, depending on how it's done, I will say that sometimes it goes too hard. Sanji is probably one of those times where I think, okay, enough, we get it. Stop. It goes to the point where it's almost a detriment to his character. Like, look, we get it. You're a white knight. You'll literally get yourself beat up because you don't want to hit a woman. And I just think that's bullshit. But I still enjoy it. He's about as far as it can be pushed before it gets to the point where I'm like, that's enough. If he was the main character, then I'd be like, yeah, way too much. But he's not. He's like a side main character. Like he's not the main, but he is on the crew of the main character's ship, right? So you don't see his stick in every episode, but there are episodes where I'm like, okay. But all these other ones, I don't think it's too much because it's not their constant personality. It's done for comedic purposes. It's hilarious. Like when Meliodas saves Princess Elizabeth and he's squeezing her boob while she's on the bed. And he's like, oh, just checking your heartbeat.
She's a girl. Definitely.
Let's make sure. That sweet, gentle face. Those buxom curves. This perfume. The firm springiness. Yep, she's a girl.
You already knew that!
Pardon me?
Your heartbeat is just fine.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that.
And it's hilarious. And then, he gets the power where he can clone himself like 4 times, and then he's all over.
And it's called physical clone.
I can't believe how many of him there are. Is all of this some kind of illusion?
I wonder if it is.
It's funny. And Princess Elizabeth loves him. So it's not like he's doing it and she hates it. She has loved him ever since you have to know the story. Anyway, it's hilarious. Okay, so this trope, again, just like lolicons, is the cornerstone of anime and always needs to be part of anime. It said anime would be better if tourists didn't come and complain about trips. I 100% agree. This person says here, the fact that I had to rewatch this part just to record it was even a struggle to get through. Okay, well, let's see what this part is. Let me put on my headphones so I can hear what's going on. Go ahead. What? I would be. What's he gonna do? Wait, isn't she flattering this? Are those really just buns in there? Oh, it really must be just bread that she put in there. Oh, they are. Okay, they're really. Oh, he's gonna go over to the next one. He's gonna realize it's the real thing. Is she gonna hit him? Go all yandere or whatever on him, or whatever it's called, yandere. Yeah, there she goes. Now, I think I haven't watched this yet, but it's on my list. I think the whole purpose of this anime is to tease. She teases him. I think they end up together in the long run from what I've seen. I don't know why this person has an issue with this. It's hilarious. She's inviting him to do it. It's not like he's molesting her and taking advantage of her. She's inviting him to do it. This is the part of the problem I have with these people. This is why I say we have to gatekeep and keep the tourist out. And it says, people like Yonk here are the reasons why I made that tourist test tweet. Don't like it? Don't watch it. This shit is not rocket science. Yonk is the person who posted the tweet of the video we just watched. This person here is like, what is on that anime even about? It says, were my C cups not enough to satisfy you? Well, I love cups of all sizes. I don't care if it's A, B, or C. I'll take all three. Says, I'll never understand why the incest jokes are so common in anime, bro. They aren't even funny. They're just weird, and someone calls them a tourist. I agree. It's comedy. If you guys are so offended by this stuff, stop watching anime. We need to keep anime great. It's awesome. It is what it is, and that's why we've liked it since the 80s. It's part of Japanese culture, as I've said. We want to maintain their culture, their traditions. Why should everything have to change to appease all of you easily offended morons out there? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. It just makes it baffles the mind. It really does. And then you have this one here, how to trigger an anime tourist. It's thanks to these things that you were able to be born. Now kneel before it. I love it. I love that stuff. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was just me talking a lot, but I do think this is something that's very important, and we have to make sure we protect our hobby, or else it's going to go the way of Magic the Gathering, Warhammer 40k, and Dungeons & Dragons. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will talk to you guys next time.